Hello, my loves. I'm finally doing that Q&A that I told you guys we were going to do like 10,000 years ago. So thank you to everyone who has sent questions every time I've asked for the past few months. I'm finally getting around to doing it. I have most of your questions saved, and I did drop another post tonight, so thank you to everyone who sent questions. Let's do it. General Q&A, I'm going to answer all of the questions I have, unless they were gross, and then ew, no. And like as a disclaimer, just in case you are new here, in which case, hi, nice to meet you. Thank you for being here. But I'm not going to answer the how did you get started in cosplay. Not to be like disrespectful about that question, it's just a question that I answer all of the time. And so there are a lot of videos on my channel already that answer that in like a storytelling way. Like you can hear about my journey getting started and my first cosplays and all of that. So I recommend just going back and watching those videos. I don't want this video to be too crazy long, so I'm going to avoid answering that question. Let's get started. Brandon asks, what was the most difficult cosplay for me to put together? I'm going to say Vigar. The only thing that I found incredibly difficult was the hat. I did download Kimpatsu's, what is it called? Pattern. I did download her pattern and watched her tutorial. I ended up still making it like probably 2 or 3 times until I got it like right. I just found it very difficult. I don't know why. It was really frustrating. And even so, I think it's back. It's right there. Yeah. Even the final product I'm not entirely happy with. So I am thinking about remaking it again. We'll see. I'm gonna think about that one, but definitely that one. I would say that hat alone made the whole costume so frustrating. But I do love how like the costume overall turned out. Like it's my first league cosplay and I love it. Nick asks, who is your biggest non-cosplay influencer in your life right now? Oh, this is a good one. So for those who don't know, last year I took a job with Midwest Esports as their social media specialist. They're a fantastic company to work for. We just became Unified Esports Association, and everyone knows that I'm crazy passionate about marketing, and they allow me to work remote, so I get to do my cosplay gig full time still while working in another career field that I love. TLDR, we recently got a new CMO, so Chief Marketing Officer, named Quasi, and he's just changed my life and changed my vision of my future in marketing. Before, I didn't really know where I was going in marketing beyond helping myself and other creators. That's kind of why I stopped doing a lot of my digital classes and was only doing my workshops at conventions. However, he has lit a fire under me, and I can really I'm fortunate that cosplay and social media marketing go so well together. So it's beneficial to me and just my career path. It opens up so many more doors for me. But for a while, I really couldn't see that, and I was moving away from marketing completely and just kind of focusing on my cosplay. And he really changed that. Now I feel super passionate and driven about both of my career fields. I see how they tie together so well and how I can benefit from that, and I can also now extend really cool guesting opportunities and influencer opportunities and paid gigs to my fellow cosplayers because I've been able to incorporate more cosplay into the company, along with an awesome team of people who are doing so. It's not just me. But TLDR, it's crazy. You're dope. Thank you, friend. Lit that fire. Lucas says, if you weren't doing cosplay, what would you be doing? Definitely marketing, 100%. I'm so crazy passionate about marketing. I found cosplay and marketing at the same time in my life. Both of these career fields just kind of fell in front of me, and when you just know, sometimes you just know, and I knew these were the things I wanted to do. And again, I'm just fortunate that they play so well together. So marketing. Erin asks, what are some pros and cons about being a full-time creator? So this is something I want to make a standalone video about. I have plans. But the quick version would be the pros are I make costumes for a living. I get to be a costume designer and a model and an influencer and so many other things for a living. It's just absolutely mind-blowing that we live in a time in our world where that is possible, and I'm thankful every day. And I know I'm so blessed, but seriously, every day, especially if I'm having a really frustrating moment with a costume, or there's a gig I really wanted that I didn't get, whatever it may be that's frustrating me, it takes me no time at all to go, hold on a minute, I'm so lucky that I'm doing this, so why am I being such a baby about one or two things? So that's the pro. The con is the admin side of it. Not that I mind, because you have to do the admin stuff to drive the other stuff, But I think that people think like being a full-time creator is 24/7 just creating and having fun and photo shoots and blah blah blah. And that's not the case. You know, I have to make sure like my finances are in order. You have to have money coming from so many different places to make sure that it is feasible full-time. You can't just sell prints, or well, you can, I guess. I don't know many people who make their entire salary off of selling prints. Usually you have to like differentiate a little bit. So like I sell prints and I have a Patreon and an OnlyFans. I do paid guest gigs. I do influencerships with companies. I do some commercial work. I do modeling. There's so many different places that I get my income, and I have to balance all of that while also being my own graphic designer, my own website admin. I do all of my own, like I do everything, as well as making all of my costumes. And sometimes that can get really heavy, and that's something that I always want people to be aware of when they're like, I'm gonna put my all into being a full-time creator. Awesome. Yes, and I will help you do that, man. Reach out to me. I will send you my media kit. I will help you with branding. I believe that there is space for everyone to be successful, but it would be a mistake to quit your full-time job and go into this thinking that you're gonna make costumes, sell prints, and be rich, because that's just not the reality for 99.8% of the peeps out there. So that's the con, is the admin stuff. Again, we'll do a full video on that. I've had a lot of requests in my Insta DMs. Gareth asks, who is your most favorite character to cosplay? Ooh, that's a good one too. So normally I answer this like, oh, it's whatever I made last, because that's true, kind of. Like, whatever the costume I made last, I'm most proud of, because my skill set grew and I'm just so excited to be that character. So that would kind of make that Soren Markov right now. However, I've been thinking on this question for a while, and I think that my favorite character to cosplay is actually Spider-Gwen. I just love being Spider-Gwen. I just rebought a new suit for her. I bought a Gwenpool suit. I have this wig right here. There, that one. Yeah. Which I'll be dyeing ombre pink. That'll be the tutorial for the month on the Patreon. But I think that if I have to pick one, it's like Gwen, 100%. Like Spider-Gwen. I almost said Mary Jane. I also really love Mary Jane. They're just fun characters to be. So, okay, my answer is Marvel Girls. Brian asks, have you ever done mashup cosplay? I haven't. I love mashup costumes. I love looking at other people's, but I don't think I've ever really done that. I guess kind of, I did Apocalypse Princess Peach. I think that kind of counts. Maybe. Wouldn't Gwenpool count as a mashup, technically? If so, Gwenpool and Apocalypse Princess Peach. Michael asks, what has been your favorite experience so far with cosplaying? Okay, so I said I wasn't going to answer that, how did you get started, or why did you get started, and I'm not. But like the answer to this question is kind of the same. In 2009, I went to a-kon in Dallas, Texas. I was wearing an old Halloween costume. I was so nervous to go on the show floor. I felt stupid. I had only seen cosplay on TV. I step out there and everybody's in these big, beautiful costumes, and I'm just like mind blown and feel so not like worthy of being there. So I'm insecure on the show floor, feeling stupid, and people just start asking me like, hey, what's your character? And I'm like, oh, no, nothing. I'm nothing. And so then they started making up OCs for me. Just these people I'd never met in my entire life took it upon themselves to give me their time and just show me that like that community vibe. I had never ever experienced anything like it. Like, I even talking about it now, like my chest gets tight. It's just that moment in my life, that weekend, that first weekend I really discovered cosplay, stands out beyond any other moment in my life. I can't express that enough. So that was my favorite. I remember sitting we were at the Sheraton when it was still the Sheraton in Dallas, and they have a rooftop pool, and I remember the first night after all of that had happened, sitting by like the edge, not of the pool, but like looking over the city, and just crying, like just tears coming down my face, because I was just so overwhelmed that this world existed. It was like a genuine feeling of, this is where I belong, like this is it. So yeah, I'm gonna get teary-eyed, man. That's my favorite experience, like hands down, 10,000%. Tom asks, what is my favorite all-time cosplay? I don't know. I make so many costumes. Typically I make 1 to 4 a month. I've slowed down a bit lately because I'm kind of focusing on competing, or I was going to this year. So I've been focusing a lot more on the little details and the finer quality of my costumes. I would say my favorite cosplay of all time is It's so hard to pick one. I'm gonna say Herod, Evan Blade, Zach Fisher's design, just because, like, besides the backstory of crunching that costume in like 3 days and all of the tears and all of the BS before C2E2, but I got to be in a really cool French cosplay documentary called Ready Player One in that costume, and even though my skill set, even since this time last year, has evolved greatly, whenever I see like clips or photos from the documentary, I'm always just like, I made that in 3 days, and I had to remake so many parts because so much went wrong. Like, I'm so proud of that costume. So yeah, it's gonna be Herod. Happy Fatalist asks, how did you develop your eye for design and techniques for crafting? I don't know. So like, I always say that when I started cosplay, I just didn't know how to glue two pieces of paper together, which isn't true. I was creative before cosplay, but in no way in a realm that was relative to what you do to make a costume. So that's why I always say, like, I couldn't glue two pieces of paper together just at my panels so that people who are getting started aren't so intimidated by the craft. There's so many resources now that literally anybody can make a really dope costume. I think that failing was huge for me in developing my like eye for design or my techniques. Design is very important to me because I do like to redesign characters to my own version. So like my Warrior Barbie and my Royal Raven, my Cyberpunk Catwoman. There were so many costumes that are my own original designs. Costume design in general is something I'm crazy passionate about, and it's not something I was passionate about 5 years ago. 5 or 6 years ago, there's no way I would have thought I'd be doing this. It was, again, just failing, like making mistakes along the way and learning and listening to my peers and asking for advice. I was so stubborn the first 2 years. I learned nothing in 2014, 2015 because I was too stubborn and hard-headed and like prideful to ask anyone for help or to check out like any real tutorials. And I see that happening a lot. There's no shame in asking your community for help. It makes you a better builder, and it builds like friendships and community around you, and you get people excited about your costumes. I had to learn that lesson the hard way. Definitely, so yeah, definitely failing. Like, failing is good because you'll learn so much. Don't fail and quit. Fail and keep failing. Like, just keep going until you get it right, and you're just gonna keep getting better and better. The next question from Kay is, do you really have more than 200 Pikachu plushies? I do. They're all in the closet that you can't see right here. They're my babies, and I love them. And I can't remember the last time I worked a show that someone didn't leave a Pikachu plushie on my booth, which is amazing, but you're also fostering my addiction, so you're enabling me at this point. I don't have anywhere to put them anymore, and I keep saying that we're going to do a Twitch stream where we just name them all. We already named one Gary Chew, and I think another one is Andrea Chew. We will do that stream. I promise that in sometime in the future of Twitch, we will do it. We will name all the shoes. I'll get those little name tags and we'll do the thing. I promise. Sheridan asks, if money was no object, what would your dream cosplay be? Oh, Raiden, Metal Gear Solid. I'm aligning the Rain transformed. I want to be him. Oh my gosh. That's not even like a money thing. Like, I definitely think monetarily I could probably do that. However, I want to do it properly with like the electronics. I want like the face to move and open, and I just want it to be perfect. Like, I want to be Raiden 10,000%. I want to transform into boy and be Raiden. So maybe it's not so much a money issue. It's mostly like a skill and fear issue because I've never worked with electronics in my cosplays before. Yeah, okay, Raiden, for sure. I do have more questions, but this video is already going longer than I expected it to because I don't know how to like talk about anything quickly. So I'm going to end it here. We will do another Q&A for sure. Thank you to everyone who has been watching my YouTube videos and all of the new subscribers. You guys are awesome. YouTube is something I've always been afraid to dabble in, but here we are, and I'm really enjoying making these. Editing videos is another passion I didn't know I had until recently, so that's pretty cool. I am doing a giveaway over on my Instagram right now in the story, so I've had a lot of hassle with Instagram lately, some of you may know. But if right now you go and click following and then click turn notifications on and turn my post notifications on and send me a screenshot of that, I'm giving away a free photo set. Send you the link as soon as I get it in my DMs. I've been working diligently to get all of those links out, and I'm just so thankful to how many people are actually turning on those notifications because that's going to be incredibly helpful. So thank you. Go and do that if you haven't already. Send me the screenshot, get free photos. A lot of them are exclusives and never been seen outside of Patreon. An extra special thanks to all of my patrons and OnlyFans this month. I just am so thankful with everything that's going on, the coronavirus and just the general state of our world. I am so thankful, extra to every one of you for being there and supporting what I do and just loving me through it all. So I'm going to start doing shout outs. After the end of the video. I'm also still doing my creator shout outs. So I'm just spotlighting creators who I feel like really could use a boost during this time, using my platform for good. So if there are creators that you would love to see me promote, go ahead and drop them in the comments below. And I will make sure to try to add all of them to end cards throughout all of my YouTube videos. This isn't something that I'm only doing like during the COVID quarantine. It's something I'm going to be doing moving forward as well. I will be streaming my pain build in conjunction with Con Artist Cosplay magazine out of New Zealand, who are amazing. Go check them out right now. They're preparing to distribute in the US, and it's just, oof, I so strongly believe in what they're doing for our community and the spotlight they're going to be giving. And I am so excited to be like influencing for them here in the US because they believe in community over everything else, and so do I. So please go check them out. I'll put a link somewhere, wherever you put links. I'm also doing weekly crafters live streams where I bring on like fellow creators and have them hang out with me for an hour and craft. Last week we had April Gloria, Papa Bear, and Mira Scarlet. This coming week we're doing 2 of them, one on Thursday at 7 p.m. and one on Friday at 11 a.m. to test out that morning vibe. I have a lot of really cool people coming to hang out with me on that. I'll put out some announcements sometime this weekend, again, maybe early next week, but either way I'll update my Twitch stream schedule to reflect all of that. If we are able to do shows again in July, I will be a cosplay guest at Tokyo and Tulsa in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, one of my favorite anime conventions on the planet. So if it happens, come and see me. If not, I will pitch something live for them and try and do something over that weekend. Again, we live at uncertain times, so I'm not really sure what's going on. But that month, I'm also supposed to be guesting at Raleigh GalaxyCon, so I hope to see you guys there if it happens. If not, again, we'll do some digital goodness. Come hang out with me on Twitch, hang out with me on YouTube. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Vero. Anywhere a creator can be, you can find me. Thank you for being here. Have a dope evening and weekend. Be safe. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.